The new podcast, In the Shadow of Princeton, starts as the matriarch of a prominent Princeton family is found stabbed to death in her locked basement. Investigators look from a serial attacker to her family to Princeton University students. One hot-blooded investigator sees a conspiracy. Is he way off base, or does privilege let you get away with murder? In the Shadow of Princeton is available wherever you get podcasts, or you can binge it ad-free by joining Wondery Plus in the Wondery app, Apple Podcasts, or Spotify.
Welcome back, everybody. It's Tuesday, November 5th, 2024. Born on this date in 1936, country record producer and songwriter Billy Sherrill of Phil Campbell. In 1936, also, photographer and painter William Christenberry of Tuscaloosa, and in 1971, triple jumper Eric Walder of Mobile. It's National Donut Day. Y'all know what to do. Now, it's also Election Day, which means that after today, we can go back to every television commercials pushing pharmaceuticals on us. Or do they only target folks of a certain age? Because I'm not there yet. The polls are open today from 7 a.m. until 7 p.m. Now, if you plan on voting, and I hope you do, make sure you go ahead and do it, no matter what you might hear about long lines or results based on exit polling. It ain't over till it's over, and anything suggesting otherwise is either garbage or rat poison. I've had sort of the opposite experience. I received a text message that said Willie, that's what some voting group or another calls me, is Willie, warning me that while other people won't know who I voted for, they'll know whether I voted, in case Halloween wasn't creepy enough. I would encourage you to hit the Alabama Secretary of State's website at sos.alabama.gov/Alabama-votes for sample ballots, polling places, etc. And don't leave your photo ID at home when you go to vote. If you don't use the straight party voting, make sure you don't skip over the Alabama Supreme Court races. While most of those are unopposed, there is one Republican and a Democrat running for Chief Justice. Now, if you do use straight party voting, don't forget you still have that statewide constitutional amendment you can vote on. Some of you have local amendments as well on the back of your ballot. Hey, no matter what happens, every conservative and liberal and moderate is welcome back here tomorrow. And while it's great to be informed and interested, a lot of folks out there get really tore up during presidential elections, so let's all be nice to somebody today. Across the aisle, sympathy in particular can be a powerful thing. We'll talk about results tomorrow. Today, we have tough news out of Birmingham. A couple of passings we want to mention, and the strong recovery of a teenage shark attack victim. My name's Ike Morgan, and we're down in Alabama. That was the longest intro in Down in Alabama history, by the way. You know, it worked for Raising Arizona, so I thought I would try it. You ate sand? We've all been hoping that somehow we wouldn't get here, but Birmingham passed a morbid milestone on Monday. AL.com's Carol Robinson reports that the killing of a young man was the city's 135th homicide in 2024, to tie its 2023 total with almost 2 whole months left in the year. Police said that more than 20 shots were fired at 12 minutes past noon in the north part of town. The 135 homicides put Birmingham 13 away from the city's record. There were 148 homicides in 1933. Well, Birmingham City Councilman J.T. Moore was arrested and charged with driving under the influence in Creola, reports AL.com's Carol Robinson. Creola police say Moore was passed out in a Birmingham City vehicle along I-65. They said they took him to Saraland Police Department and that he failed a sobriety test and breathalyzer test there. He was booked into the Mobile County Jail. Now, there are a couple of passings we want to acknowledge today. An Alabama legislator from 1974 to 2022, Jimmy Holley, an Elba Republican, passed away Monday. Holley served in the state House of Representatives as a Democrat from 1974 to 94, then moved over to the Senate, where he switched parties before the GOP swept into power and eventually stepped down 2 years ago. Jimmy Holley was 80 years old. Now, that same year that Holley joined the Alabama legislature, 74, Cammie East Cowan began her newspaper career at the Mobile Press and Register. She worked as a copy editor and features writer who was known for her literary connections, such as her folks' haunted bookshop and her friendship with To Kill a Mockingbird author Harper Lee. Now, if you recognize Cowan from her work with the Press Register or just know her from being a fellow Mobilian, make sure you read Lawrence Becker's story about her at AL.com. That's a good one. Now, just the phrase shark attack survivor is terrifying. But 15-year-old Lulu Gribben of Mountain Brook continues to inspire through her recovery from a life-altering attack back in June. She lost her left hand and much of her right leg while in the water along the Florida Panhandle. She went through surgeries, was fitted for prosthetics, returned home in August, and started school in September. We've seen video of her hitting a golf ball on Instagram to the oohs and ahs of golf pros. And now, reports AL.com's Howard Koplowitz, Gribben has attended a Taylor Swift concert as a guest of Swift herself. Swift sent Lulu an invite shortly after the attack. With Lulu having just lost a leg, you have to imagine that attending a concert probably seemed like a faraway goal. But just a few months later, there she was, sitting next to Swift's mom in Indianapolis. Hey, since y'all may have voted or plan to vote today and you're on a roll with wielding judgment power, please consider leaving us a rating on whatever podcast app you're using. They say that helps get us seen by more folks who might be interested in listening, and we do like more listeners. So go vote today. Vote well. I appreciate y'all. We'll be back here first thing in the morning. Until then, come by and see what we're doing anytime you want to on the World Wide Web at AL.com.